All right, listen. I know one thing though. That if there's ever a live action Vixen, y'all better not do her like this. Like, can y'all imagine if they cast Vixen, right, in live action or something, and she ended up looking like Tyler? Like, and I know some people are gonna want to ignore this conversation. They're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, here come Adrian. Here he go." But at this point, it happens too often in the industry for us to ignore it, right? And before people start jumping down my throat, like obviously Aaron is a very talented person. He's been everywhere. He's been working a lot. But I think that this trend of people being darker in the comics or in the cartoons or whatever, and then they come to live action and they're light skinned or racially ambiguous, is just like, it needs to be disguised, girl. Like, it just has to be. Because not only is it a representation issue, but, being intentionally inclusive, right, in that way can make a real world difference in the life chances and the opportunities that dark skinned people in the real world have access to, right? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. All right, as usual, I'm gonna do a little plug. If you like my content, make sure you like, subscribe, check out my Patreon as well for exclusive videos. The last exclusive video we put up there, we talked about the ways that Hollywood is apparently dealing with or trying to deal with the toxic behaviors of some extreme fans within fandoms, like the messed up, bigoted behavior, the dogpiling, the doxing, So more content, more exclusives up there. Also, the same exclusives if you end up joining the channel memberships. Let's get into it. So, right, like I mentioned with Vixen, because I feel like that's a very obvious and very, especially if you grew up watching, like, oh my goodness, Justice League Unlimited, like, come on now. So that's why I brought up Vixen. Like, can you imagine? It's like bringing Vixen to live action, and she end up looking like Tyler. Like, it's no shade. It's no shade to Tyler. It's no shade, girl. Lovely, talented girls. Make me sweat. Make me water. Like, very talented, love. But it's just like, as far as representation goes, and bringing a darker skinned character to live action, I really wish that it was prioritized more instead of just like, okay, well, it's a black person, so whatever. We don't have to look past that. We don't have to look further than, oh, well, this person is black or claiming, and not looking at anything else, skin tone, anything else, sexuality. Like, it just, to me, it feels like a missed opportunity. Put someone, who looks like Jon Stewart looks in the comics, in this position, especially considering darker skinned people find access in these environments a little bit harder to grasp, right? So, like, keeping all that in mind, I think it's a missed opportunity. That's why I brought up Vixen, and we all know Storm. We start, as much as I do love Halle Berry, like, it's just, you see what I'm saying? And also Alexandra Shipp, like, it's just, the whole trend of it is really annoying. Imagine if they do Static Shock, try to bring him to live action, and he end up looking like T.I.'s son King. Like, the difference is important, especially with the way that darker skinned people are treated in the society in general. It's just like, if y'all gonna do this, at least give darker skinned people, darker skinned actors the opportunity, and don't drag these darker skinned actors through these auditions knowing good and well that you was gonna be, you see what I'm saying? It's just, oh my goodness. Okay, let's go through this Deadline article really quick, and you can find it in my description. I'm not gonna read all of it, but just real quick. So Aaron Pierre has been tapped to star in Lanterns, HBO's high-profile series based on the Green Lantern DC comic. He is set to play Jon Stewart opposite Hal Jordan, a role Kyle Chandler has been in negotiations for and expected to close. Pierre landed the Jon Stewart part after an extensive search. As a Deadline reported 2 weeks ago, in the process's final stages, he had emerged as a frontrunner alongside Stephen James. Now, I saw this announcement, right, because this had been reported, I can't remember if it was a couple of days or like a few weeks ago, but it was reported that Aaron and Steven were announced basically as the finalists for who was going to be cast as Jon Stewart. And I was already like, I can't believe y'all over here thinking about casting Aaron. I was going to do a video saying like, oh my goodness, I see this, I see what's happening, and I think they're going to pick Aaron. Like, I just think they're going to pick Aaron. And he has a recognizable face. He's already been around, like I said. And the population that they're trying to appeal to, which honestly, no shade, is, especially if it's about lanterns, like they just got to appeal to their white fans. That's they really don't care. You see what I'm saying? So I was like, they go pick this man who's like, well, he's black, so we don't care. Just put him up there. He's Jon Stewart, and I think that's starting to become. It's just starting to show how careless y'all are being, and I'll relate it to, remember how in video games and stuff, people are like, okay, y'all have black people in your video games, but we have the same hairstyle. And so now we have the same little swoop. You know that swoop. You know what I'm talking about. So it's like, okay, yes, it's important to have black people to have representation, but you need to actually put care and effort into, like, okay, we can have black characters in our video games, but they're individuals, black people, so they can, let's switch their hair up. Let's actually have them have different styles, because not all of them are identical. Like, that's why I related to that, because hair might seem like something so minuscule to other people and like, oh, why y'all complaining? But like, it's important. If you want people to get lost in the world that you have created for them, like, put some care into it. This series from Ozark's Chris Mundy, Watchmen's Damon Lindelof, and comic book writer Tom King follows new recruit Jon Stewart and Lantern legend Hal Jordan, two intergalactic cops drawn into dark Earth-based mystery as they investigate a murder in the American heartland. So, like, the premise for this sounds fun. Like, I'm definitely gonna check it out. It seems like if they do it right, like, we'll have a good time watching it. Like, I'm not saying that it's gonna be the show's gonna start, but it just is annoying to see a consistent trend over the entire industry all the time. What else? The article doesn't really, like, here they're just talking about who's producing the show: HBO, Warner Brothers, and the showrunners. Here they're talking about Pierre's accolades and his filmography, what he's done, his accomplishments and stuff. So, like, you can check out the article if you want to read it in its entirety. But I don't know. I think that there was a missed opportunity here to have, like, even if it's a lesser known, like, darker skinned actor who's establishing themselves, like, to really, come in and perform for us. Like, I just think it's a missed opportunity, especially when Jon Stewart, across all these iterations from the Justice League shows, the cartoon show, to actual comics, I'm sure, like, he's darker skinned, he's dark skinned, y'all, he's dark skinned. And so it just becomes predictable and really annoying when you look like Jon Stewart, like you got the skin tone, I got the skin tone of Jon Stewart, you know what I mean? And it would be so much fun to see someone who looks like me up there, swinging that ring around, whatever, But I think also more than that, it provide when you put the care into actually saying, okay, no, this person, their character's darker skinned in comics, let's make sure we give an opportunity to a darker skinned actor, you know what I mean, and put them in front of audiences. Like, when you do that, that actually gives real real opportunity to darker skinned people. And so, like, that is really the core of it too, is that, for an industry that likes to have these dark-skinned cartoons, and we could go back further than that, and all the blackface and stuff, like, that y'all had in y'all cartoons. But, like, for an industry that loves to have these darker-skinned cartoons, we could even talk about Katara, the way that they did Katara, for the Netflix live action. Like, you see what I'm saying? For an industry that loves the costume of black people and putting them on as caricatures, and, like, y'all need to start giving these darker skinned actors and you know what I mean, wherever they work on set, you need to start giving these darker skinned TV industry people, actors, whatever, artists, their opportunity. Especially if you're going to use these shades these shades of brown in your comic books and your cartoons, girl. Get them in live action. Give real opportunities to the dark-skinned people that you're trying to make stories about. And it's absolutely no shade, because I know there's going to be some people, oh my gosh, are y'all going to complain? It's absolutely no shade to the actor or whatever, or, like, To me, I'm talking about the industry and the trends that we see and the colorism and all of that. I just think it's growing to be very expected, and I think that's sad, especially when y'all talking about doing other things and moving forward and trying to adapt other things. It's like, oh, do we have to worry about Vixen coming out here looking like, 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper? Like, do we do we have to worry about that? Because at some point it's gonna give us bait and switch. At some point it's giving like, okay, just don't tell no stories about no dark skinned people and y'all stuff. Like, if it's gonna like be like pulling teeth for y'all to get darker skinned people in live action, just leave them alone. Then you see what I'm saying? So anyway, please tell me what y'all think about this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll check y'all out later. Peace. Make sure that you're going to www.zoraxia.com. When you join the wait list there on the site, you will be the first to be notified when I drop my sequel. Also, you'll immediately get chapter 1 of my upcoming sequel of the upcoming book sent to your email as a PDF. So check that out. Also, this is a different excerpt from my upcoming book, so you definitely want to pause to read if you're trying to get your life. Keep in mind that this upcoming book, this sequel, is following up the first book that is already released called Zoraxia, Wrath of the God King. I released it a few years ago. It was my introduction to writing fantasy and stuff, so just go easy on me. But either way, as you can see here, it's given 4.9 stars. It's given 4.9 stars. So yeah, check out Zoraxia, Wrath of the God King while you wait for Zoraxia, The Vengeance of Cold Wind, right? And go to Zoraxia.com, sign up, join the wait list, get your free chapter. Thank you so much.